Welcome back to Morning Live, and as I told you earlier, we want to talk about American football taking shape in the country and starting off in the universities. And trust me, it's really having enthusiasts and also fans here in the country. It's not common, but the enthusiasts are actually having fun with it. In the studio, I'm joined by three gentlemen who've played, unofficial also, Bonafredo War, Malcolm Munoko, and Boniface Nzomo, who will be now telling us about the sport in the country. Karibuni sana. All right, now I can see you actually donning that jersey. The shoulder is called a shoulder what?
Shoulder pad.
Shoulder pad.
Yes.
All right, so protective gear, is it?
Yes.
Now, let's start with Boniface now. American football. You know, when you talk about American football, yes, it brings that kind of the greenness. You know, not so many people are aware it's taking shape in the country. But now, tell us how it was introduced actually in the country now.
American football was introduced in this country back in 2012.
Okay. Oh, 2012. Okay.
Yeah, so it happened that there was this championship that was happening in Uganda.
Okay.
So players from University of Nairobi decided to have a team
Okay.
to go and represent Kenya there. So from there, they tried to coach themselves from online stuff, YouTube, and then they went and represented us from there. Then after that, they decided why not have a team in Kenya, and then we can try involve other universities. And so far, we have 3 universities.
Wow.
Yeah.
Maybe namely.
Namely, we have JKUAT, Jomo Kenyatta University of Agriculture and Technology.
Yeah.
There's University of Nairobi, and then there's University of USIU. I mean,
USIU.
Yeah.
And
then there's a club that started some few years later.
Okay.
With the help of the chairman, Kenya Federation of American Football.
Okay.
And then it's called Umoja Chiefs.
All right.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
any youths from Umoja Chiefs, from around Umoja, you can get a team there.
Wow, interesting. So it's already in the estates, it's already actually in the, not only in the universities, actually in the localities. Now, but I'm afraid playing this game, maybe which position do you play?
For me, I'm a wide receiver.
Okay.
A wide receiver, his job is to receive the ball.
Okay.
So the quarterback throws him the ball. Him is supposed to run a certain routes
Okay.
and receive the ball and try to make yardage.
Okay. So it means you
Yes.
have pace also.
Yeah.
You need
yeah.
to have
For a
pace.
wide receiver, you have to have pace.
Okay.
It's a skilled position. Yeah.
Now, as a player, now I understand you were not so much familiar when you were introduced to this sport. Now, what drove you to play American football now?
For me, I used to watch the game
Okay.
when I was still young. Then I had interest. So one day I was just passing by Nairobi University and saw people playing this game. I saw the shoulder pads and the helmets, and I was interested. And that's
How
when
long was that? How long ago was that?
It was like 4 years ago.
4 years ago. Wow.
4 years ago, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, the techniques. Before I come to you, Malcolm, because behind the scenes you mentioned you are a footballer, and it was very interesting that transition from football to American football. Now, what really drove you to that sport? Because now football is the most loved sport in the world, without doubt. Now, what drove you to American football?
I used to play a local football league called Likintogo in JKUAT.
Okay.
So it was next to the rugby pitch where they train. We sparrows train. So during the evenings when I used to go and play soccer, Boniface is the one who introduced me to the game. In fact,
Okay,
so
nice.
I used to wonder what do these guys play, because the quarterback throws the ball, and hey, this rugby, no. So that's when I gained interest, and from there I went. Google is a friend to all of us. So
of course.
from there I started watching the plays and the videos, and that's when I got interested and said,
maybe,
why not?
Which position do you play?
I play in defense. I play as a linebacker and safety.
Okay. Now, let's talk equipment. I can see we have a protective gear. You call it a shoulder what?
Shoulder pad.
Shoulder?
Shoulder pad.
Shoulder pad.
Yeah.
Now, I can see you donning one of them, and it's funny how you can actually, how you have to wear it. You have now, the sequence of wearing it is very funny. You still have to now, like, put the shirt on top of the pad itself, then you wear all of them. You have to put the pad first, then you wear the shirt. Now, how did you manage to get the equipment in this situation? Bwana Nzoma, the last question for you.
It's a challenge. It's a challenge anyway, because the equipments are not locally produced. So we have to source them from Europe, or USA.
Who's sponsoring this? The school?
No, not the school. Just sponsor well wishers.
Okay.
Yeah, because out of interest, then guys see that we really want to play this game, and then we just decide, and with the help of Kenya Federation of American Football, they help us find the equipments from US.
Okay.
So most of the equipments, actually, these ones are donated way back in 2006 or what?
206?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Because they are old equipments compared to the current ones.
Where were you in 206? I think
Form
you were
one.
Form 1. Wow. You're a toddler, man. Anyway, so so something else, Fred. Protective gear, you need to have the helmet and everything. It's a contact sport at the end of the day. You know, it scares people when you kind of wear so much protective gear. You know, as much as you're running also, you know, there's rugby, these guys are just running without anything. Just T-shirt and then that's it. But now, is it that rough that you need to wear a helmet, you need to wear that shoulder pads, you need to wear kind of some very, very sophisticated attire now? Yeah. It's scary also because now when you wear that, someone will think this is a very serious contact sport. Is it that serious?
Yeah, the sport is rough. Unlike rugby, there's not more rules on tackling.
Okay. Wow. No
So
rules.
There are rules, but
Okay.
not as much as rugby.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, so that's why you have the equipments, the shoulder pads and the helmets to kind of protect you when you're getting tackled or when you want to tackle.
Okay.
Yeah, so yeah, it's a rough sport, but there is protective gear, so it's a bit safe.
Okay.
It's a bit safe, yeah.
In every transition, there's something called baptism by fire. So how was yours now transitioning from football to American football? And I understand now things didn't go. The spirit of giving up came in, I believe, the first days. But how was it for you? The tackle, anything that made you nearly gave up the sport?
There are times when we've planned before for teams to come over or for us to travel outside the country.
Okay.
And we try and get sponsors to get us there, but we never came through.
Okay.
Those are the kind of times when, you know, you want to give up the sport, but there's just the passion and the fire burning in our stomachs that we don't just give up.
All right, interesting. Zomo, the techniques and also the tactics in this situation. Do you guys have a coach who's taking you through all these? Because when you talk about American football, you know we are Kenyans. Sometimes we learn things from YouTube. We have Julius Yego, is a very good javelin thrower, and of course he's doing so well via YouTube. Now, who's the coach? How did he or she maybe get the tactics to now come and of course giving guys the confidence to play? How does it go around with the faction, the coaching situation here?
As I said earlier, players used to coach themselves through online stuff, YouTube. But then later, we got some coaches from US.
Ah, nice.
Became the first used to coach at University of Nairobi.
Okay.
So some players from JKUAT will go to University of Nairobi, learn the skills. And then when they go back to JKUAT, they coach the other students. And from there, people learned, they acquired everything, every skill. And then it happened that there was this guy who used to play this game in China called Teddy, who is now our current coach.
Okay.
Then he came one day during one of our games, and then he decided, okay, at least I have knowledge for this game, so let me try and coach these guys and help out with every other thing.
Okay.
So that's how. And from there also we have, like ourselves as students, we can also coach others.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah. Now, Fred, you mentioned there's a league also that is going on right now, is it?
There is, yes.
There is. Yeah. Now, how is the league? How is the competitiveness? Of course, we have the Sparrows, the JKUAT Sparrows, and also, which one?
Mighty Nyati.
Mighty Nyati from?
Yeah, from University of Nairobi.
All right. Yes. And the team, Umoja?
Umoja and also USI.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, how is the league, the competitiveness? Who's good? Who's doing badly? Now, the points. Take us through all that, man.
The league is doing fine. As much as we're still learning, and the school's still learning, like USIU, our Umoja Chiefs. I can say the best team right now is Mighty Nyati from University of Nairobi.
Okay.
We had a game just the other day, last Saturday.
Okay. So they beat you guys, eh?
Yes, we beat them. Was it 50?
50-46.
50-46.
50-46. That's close.
It is
That's
close.
Yeah,
It is close. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, the league is competitive.
Yeah.
Yeah. We've learned about the game, the skills, the rules, and during games, people apply this.
Okay.
That's why it's so competitive. So yeah, the league is it's going on well. Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
For someone who wants to join the sport, like for you, curiosity drove you now and then, but Nzomo introduced you to the sport. For someone who wants to join the sport, he's in campus, he's watching you guys right now, and is wondering now, the rules, man. As you mentioned, there are no rules in tackling. That's so scary also. Okay, there are rules also in rugby, but now when you're tackling in this sport, it's kind of very rough. But still someone is kind of has this fear. Already, you have protective gears, but what can you advise this person who has this, like the drive to join American football?
I remember from the very first time I joined Sparrows and started training with them. At that time, Teddy Dund was our coach. He always insists on safety.
Okay.
That's the first thing he always tells us. The thing is, he always reminds us that when you step onto the pitch, you're not going there to inflict pain or injure another player. You're going there to enjoy the game.
Okay.
So that's the thing that he always insists and tells us repeatedly to play safe and enjoy the game.
Okay. Yeah. Now, when you talk about safety, he's mentioned safety, which is a very important component in any sport, in anything actually. When you're driving, when you're walking, safety is actually, it comes first. Sure. Now, the protective gears, maybe you can mention from the helmet to the shoulder pads, what else?
From the helmet to the shoulder pad, you have padded shorts.
Okay.
And then you can you make sure that you bandage your wrists.
Okay.
You have to protect your ankles, also you bandage them. You have mouth guards.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very crucial actually. You can't play without a mouth guard.
Wow.
Yeah, because of the heat.
But you have a helmet and mouth guard also.
Yeah.
So that means that the heats are very serious, eh?
Sure. They are. They are.
All right, okay. Just still on you, Bwana Nzomo. The region, East Africa region, maybe have you ever played any team from Tanzania, Uganda, maybe Rwanda, any team just from the region?
Currently, no. Yeah, but there was a time that we wanted to go and play in Makerere University because initially there was a game there. Okay. But then we weren't so sure if there's a team, so it happened that we did bounce for that. Okay. Then we're trying to see if we can have a game with Nigeria in a few months to come. Also Egypt, we have South Africa to playing, but currently in East Africa there's no team. Okay. It's only us. Okay. It's only Kenya team now.
Kenya team.
Yeah, we're trying to develop Kenya team.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So do you think now it will spread to other neighboring countries, African countries? Because I believe South Africa also, from my research, have a team, a youth team, a very, very stable youth team. Now, from that already, it shows that Kenya, as pioneers, we are good at what we do. So the spread of the sport in other African countries, are you hopeful that very soon we'll have our neighbors Tanzania, Uganda, Rwanda take up the sport?
Yes, we are very hopeful that these other countries will engage in American football. Like you said, so far there's those countries. I've also seen Ivory Coast. Ivory Coast actually have a lot of players. Wow. They've been sponsored, equipments they have everything. Yeah, so we're hopeful. We're hopeful that it's going to be big in Africa one day, yeah.
Back to you before I go to Malcolm. Your officials do so many back-to-back trips to the US. Yeah. Now, what really happens? Is it an exchange program? And before you answer that, association, just the body that runs the sport in this country, is it stable right now? Has it maybe been registered under the NOC, National Olympics Committee? Maybe, you know what I'm talking about? The structural now, as far as associations are concerned. How is it so far for you guys?
We already have the federation. It's registered. We have a certificate. Okay. But then there's some few things that need to be finalized. And for those guys who go to US, the officials go to attend conferences. Okay. Like recently there was a conference in Orlando. Okay. Yeah, you go learn more about football because it's a wide sport. Okay. So they go learn about football, about the safety. Mostly it's all about safety. skills, acquire skills, and also there are times that we have there are times that the times that there are camps which are being held there. So some players who can sponsor themselves to US, they go for tryouts, and then maybe from there they can be sponsored or be noticed by some coach, and then they can sponsor them, and then go to their colleges, and then from there, because so far we have like 3 players who went to US do the recruitment programs, which are being carried out there. You go, and then
Do they come back and share these things to you?
yeah,
guys?
they do, and they help a lot with also creating awareness over there that there's a game here and we need sponsors.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, but Malcolm, when you see a player like, I think there was a Kenyan player who's playing for in the US, American football.
Daniel Adongo.
Adongo, actually, yeah. Now, he used to play rugby, is it? Yeah. Transition out to American football. When you see a Kenyan playing abroad, how do you feel as a player? Do you want to take this sport seriously into that direction, or maybe you're just trying to kind of one foot in and the other one out? What's the situation in this sport?
Personally, I won't say I'm playing the game so that I can go and join the NFL. Because joining the NFL is wow.
Man, there's something called hope. Yeah, it's something called hope.
Yeah, sure.
But still, yes.
But I've come to learn this game past my teenage years, you know.
Ah, okay,
And there
sure.
are people back in the US who start playing the game when they're still young.
Yeah,
you know, so
yeah.
we can't compare the two of us.
Are you afraid?
No, never. But the thing is, it will be so hard for me catching up.
Yeah.
But when you see people play in the NFL
Like
from
Adongo,
Kenya,
like
Adongo,
Kenyan,
yes.
like Adongo,
There's
yes.
Riz or Diambo too. So it gives us hope that
Yeah,
one day, one time,
Yeah.
maybe not me,
Yeah.
maybe not my
Absolutely.
kid, maybe my grandchildren.
Absolutely.
will be playing the NFL. Yeah.
All right. Now, Fred, very, very interesting comments from Malcolm there, that there's hope that even one of you guys will really soon play the NFL. Now, the likes of Adongo, when you guys follow their tracks, what is the recipe that actually pushed these guys to be where they are right now?
For someone like Adongo, I'd say it was more of his physique, because he used to play rugby, but then he was taken by the NFL. And, you know, for this game, it's different from rugby. You have to be trained the roles, you have to be taught your position, such stuff. So this is a physical game. Sometimes it requires you to be someone big, physically, or skilled in such, yeah. So for Adongo, for him, I think it was more of his physique, because he was big. He can make tackles, he can make hits. I think that's one of the factors why he was taken to the NFL.
Okay.
In regards to his comment about being hopeful playing in the NFL, most players there are either in their early 20s.
Okay.
By the time you reach your 30s or late 20s, you're considered old.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
So that's why he was saying players there start playing the game when they're still young.
So development
By-
squads also in that situation?
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
okay.
By 18, 19, you're already drafted
Wow.
in the NFL.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good stuff, good stuff.
Yeah.
Nzomo, as an official with the team, there's an aspect of now giving these guys the morale, everyday morale, that indeed there's light at the end of the tunnel. It's not as easy as it may look like, but your mandate also is to talk to these guys because you understand the sport, you've played the sport, because I've met the likes of Alwanga, I think, you know Alwanga, is it? George Alwanga, and of course Abulitsa. Abulitsa still around?
No, he's
still in the US.
Yeah.
What is he doing in the US? Same thing?
Same thing.
Wow. So it was in JKUAT actually.
It was in
In
Umoja Chiefs.
Umoja Chiefs, from Umoja to the US. Now, his story is inspirational. Now, for guys who are in this sport, Malcolm and Fred here, sometimes they start that nourishment in terms of morale. How do you manage now to accommodate these guys? Because now they have to train, they have to sort out their own fare, they have to like sacrifice so much to come to training. How do you manage now to mobilize these guys?
We give them hope.
Okay.
We try to come up with, what is it?
I know the inspirational angle is very difficult for young men.
It's
but
kind
still-
of difficult
yeah,
because
yeah.
you see, like when it's hard for you to convince someone
Yeah.
from university,
Okay.
other than going to work,
Yeah.
come train
So
with us.
how do you do that now?
we having some plans
Okay.
down the line.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a transition, so it's taking
Okay.
step by step, but eventually we'll be having a league which is going to be sponsored well.
Okay.
And the only thing that the challenging thing is the equipment.
Okay.
So we want first to have the equipment, we have the coaching stuff, and then from there we're going to be able to convince sponsors that come on, why don't you go and sponsor this team, and then I'll sponsor another team, and then
Okay. So
Tablets.
right now, when you go to the Ministry of Sports, Ambassador Amina Mohammed is now at the helm of the ministry. When you present your organizations, papers, and everything as an association, will you convince the ambassador that you need equipment so far? Because of course there are leagues going on, yes. Good job you're doing, but now sometimes the ministry needs to see how you guys are operating, how organized you guys are. So when you go with your papers, for example, introducing the teams you have in the country, like for example, you need ambulances for your matches because it's a contact sport. Do you have ambulances
For the schools, yes, we have.
for the schools?
For the schools, yeah.
Okay, when matches are on, that is.
Yes.
Now, back to you. Will you be able to convince the ministry that indeed you need support for the sport?
yeah,
From what you have right now in your files,
yeah, sure we can.
what do you have in your files now that you can able to convince now the ministry to come and help you guys do this?
Proposal, we have proposals, and again we also want to help the youth.
Okay.
Being a new sport, it's a very, 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 I mean, it's going to be a very,
Yeah.
very safe, I mean, what do I say, how do I put this?
It's a long journey actually. to
It's a
achieve
long
this.
journey,
Yeah.
but that we can convince them because we wanna see these youths having a purpose in something.
Okay, yeah, sure,
We wanna convince the government that we can help them through this sport.
sure.
And with the coaching stuff that we have, we can also create job employments for them,
Okay,
because down the line we're looking to having coaches who have been paid, referees, officials
Okay.
who have been paid by the federation.
Absolutely.
And that's job employment,
All
that's
right.
job creation already.
Thank you so much, Bonafred Awor, Malcolm, for coming, and the official himself, Boniface Nzomo, and Bwana Pole. Unajua kuamka si rahisi, eh? And so you struggle today. This guy, it's okay, bro. That's how people survive out here. So
Sure.
thanks so much for coming, and I wish you all the best in your endeavors. Thank you so much. We're now taking a short break, and when you come back, the month of March is actually Endometriosis Awareness Month, and Dr. actually will be in studio to talk about all those issues now regarding to that condition. All that after a short break.